But I do want to ask you, since I've never interviewed you, about your career, because you've been around for about 4 or 5 years. So I want to.
All right, just say it. I've been around for 100 years. And there were a couple of times where, you know, the dialogue was broken English, and my name was supposed to be Maylee, and I was, you know, a prostitute. And a couple of times I picked up the script and said, I can't. I'm sorry. Good luck with your project. And I needed the money, trust me. But I was not about to do, you know, you're going to make your project without me, with or without me. And I couldn't, I would rather sell tickets at the Comedy Store, which is what I was doing, than go home after a shoot and feel like that about myself. So, you know, I mean, I have played a prostitute. My very first role was in Best Little Whorehouse in Texas. But it was a musical, and I was a singer and a dancer and an actor. And
you weren't the only one either. Like,
right,
you know, it's like the whole movie's about prostitutes.
Right, exactly. And it wasn't like the little Chinese girl's a prostitute. Everybody was supposed to be a prostitute. So, you know, I mean, I've played attorneys, and I've played the girl next door, and it just so happened that for 15 years I played a nurse. So the thing was, again, it wasn't a show about a whole bunch of people, and I was the only one who was playing the medical professional. It was a show about medical professionals, and, you know, I was one of maybe 1, 2, 3 Asian people on the show. Only Asian person on ER. And there was a scene where they were following me around the hospital with a Steadicam, or around the set, which was the hospital. And I turned around to the director and I said, are you making me run around so it looks like there's a crowd? Because I'm the only Asian person in this room. And, you know, so it was tough for a while. I was the only Asian person on ER. And to me, even though I have played a doctor a few times and a nurse a few times, you know, I've also played a patient. And it's not, the thing was that playing a nurse and a doctor, you know, it wasn't so much a stereotype as it was just getting to play a really smart person, getting to play someone who's respected in the community. And, you know, I would say that most of the roles, for example, the last time I played a doctor was in the movie Extraordinary Measures with Harrison Ford. And originally that part was supposed to be a white a white guy. And they changed it and decided they wanted this character to be softer, but they didn't necessarily want it to be Asian. So I walked in and there were, you know, lots of different kinds of people in the room. And then apparently, you know, I won't name names, but I looked around the room and thought, there came a point where it was the callbacks. And I looked around the room and I thought, I'm not going to get it. Because I'm the only person I don't know in this room. And all the other Asian actors in the room were very famous. And I got it. So I think people watched ER because, for the first time, I think, and it sort of set the stage for medical shows to come, for the first time you saw medical professionals as people. You know, there were lots of scenes where we'd be standing over gurneys doing medical procedures and asking each other what we were going to have for lunch, or, you know, what time do you get off, or talking about, you know, sort of, I think that people appreciated that this is what people are really like. They're at work. They're at work just like everybody else is at work, and their interests and their, you know, their focus is on their lives, not necessarily, you know, the urgent emergency. And even in the worst emergency, which is in the ER, people are still wondering what time they get off, and, you know, want to go to the bar after work. You know, it was a real sort of show where people were acting like real people. And
Who's your favorite guest star in that show?
Alan Alda.
Oh, really?
That was pretty amazing because, you know, he was on the granddaddy of all medical shows. And for him to come in and, you know, I just remember all of us, Anthony Edwards and, you know, George Clooney and everybody just sort of standing around like, it's Alan Alda. Star Trek.
Really?
Well, I was a big Trekkie. You know, I'd come home from school and turn the TV on and watch the old William Shatner reruns of the original Star Trek. So when I got to be on Star Trek, it was the end for me. I got to wear that little pin. I got blown up on the bridge, and you know, so I made them take a picture of me in my costume, you know, their big cheesy smile, and then after I blew up, they, you know, put like blood and black stuff. I was like, take my picture again. I was so excited to be on a Star Trek and to wear that uniform to lunch. I got to wear that, you know, that jumpsuit. Oh my God, that was the end. No, but I kept the pin.
Okay, we'll cut that out. You won't get anybody where you kept it. That's where
Well,
editing comes
let
in.
them try and get it back.
It doesn't matter. We're going to edit it. They'll never know.
Joan Cusak plays.
She's so funny.
Oh, I love her.
I
love her. She plays an agoraphobic, and my character was she was a sort of therapist, I guess, who comes in, and I've got the visual, the thing, you know, the helmet she has to wear so we can pretend like she's in the store, and I can steer her cart toward other people and she has to say hi to them, and the joke was that, which I love, I mean, this is not stereotypical at all. The joke was that while she has this helmet on, I'm helping myself to the vodka and orange juice.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you're the therapist.
And I'm the therapist, which is why she's still agoraphobic. I was a little intimidated to work with Joan Cusak because I think she's so funny, and I was supposed to be funny.
Yeah.
But she was so generous, and off camera, we were like playing and improvising, and then she, you know, she was the quintessential series regular, which we learned on ER. You know, it's your house and other people are guests, so you treat them like guests. So she'd say, you know, she'd come over to me every few minutes. You okay? Everything all right? You need anything? It's like, wow, want to get me a soda, Joan? You know, she was great. I loved her. I loved working with her.